How about now? There we go. Okay, let's get started. Name contains invalid characters. Oh man. I guess it doesn't like the and. Zip ties and bubblegum. There we go. Hi everybody. Happy Friday. We're doing some Kerbal 2. I know, everybody and their dog's doing Kerbal 2. Seen so many Kerbals, people don't know what to do with them. You guys have probably all seen this before.
Your new space program, leaping forward into the cosmos.
We didn't go through all the training. I don't know how many people have gone through all the training, but I think the training is going to be probably the fun part of it for right now. So we'll see how it goes. I should shut up during the film, huh?
I think that might have been the only copy of the orientation film. Hold on! Slides, somewhere! Welcome to your first day running the Kerbal Space Program. This campus hosts the greatest ever gathering of astronomers, astronauts, and engineers.
There was a bug on the telescope.
After years of focused effort, this collection of geniuses has
I've only watched this video once, so...
several very impressive buildings. We believe we have all the necessary pieces to take our first steps off the ground. The best way to advance our technologies further is to get up there and learn by doing. All we need now is somebody to show us how to put all this.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen out there, right?
Well, we also need somebody to help us out with the flying. We need a lot of help, actually. That's why you're here. My name is Paige, by the way. If you need
Paige, by the way, got it.
Feel free to visit me over at the training center. Everything in there is well padded, so it's a great place to get up and running. Welcome aboard.
Her name is Paige, by the way. Alright, hello and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. The campus has everything you need to turn your fledgling space program into the stuff of legends. I don't think so. Our engineers have created a training program that will guide you through the building and flying of your very first rocket. You can go through the lessons here at the training center. Where's the training center? Probably this fella right here. If you want to start building right away, you can go to Vehicle Assembly Building. Let's zoom out again. This facility is backwards. But we've got more launch pads. I guess they've redesigned it. Let's see. What buildings do we have? We've got all the runways. Runway 1, runway 2, control tower. This is a launch pad 1, launch pad 2, launch pad 4, launch pad 3. Those look like little helio pads there. Or there's no, those are supposed to be landing pads for returning rockets. That's what those are supposed to be. And we've got a boat dock. Hey, check that out. Let's launch a boat. Let's launch a boat. No. Wait, we're going to go through the training center. Dun, dun, dun. Why would he be working out in full suit? That seems it would be Dinky. Space is the place where you want to be right now. Lessons takes place in the simulation. You can start a lesson at any time, even in the middle of an active flight. Excuse me. When you're done, we'll put you right back where we found you. So, if I had crashed into the ground and died, that's where you're going to put me? I think they're launching. Alright, continue. Space is the place. How do rockets work? Your game will be paused while in the tutorial.
Space is the place. So you want to get to space. Have you tried rockets? Rockets use fuel and engines to create thrust, which propels them forward. When
Who's gonna jump on them? That's pretty funny.
It is dropped to stay as lightweight as possible, allowing the rocket to go even faster. These tanks, as well as other expendable parts of a rocket, are called stages. Different stages do different things. Often the first stage is very powerful, with just enough fuel to get the vehicle through the atmosphere. The second stage usually has a low-thrust engine that, while not as powerful, is more fuel efficient. After dropping the heavier first stage and leaving the atmosphere, the second stage engine pushes the much lighter second stage to orbital speed. On a flight to space, the final stage parachutes back down to the surface, ideally in one piece.
That was funny. I have not seen those training videos. Alright. You have learned how to go to space. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. We now know how to go to space using a large rocket.
Welcome to the launch pad. As you embark on your journey into rocketry, it's important to get all the crashing out of your system here in the simulator. It really cuts down on the awkward phone calls. Today you'll be launching into the virtual skies over KSP, where you'll learn how to control a rocket.
Okay.
Let's learn how to rotate the flight camera. That's great. You can also zoom the camera in and out. Nice. Go ahead and pick your favorite view for this launch.
How do I get to the cockpit? Do I have a way to see from her perspective? Is it still C? I guess it's not. Yeah, there we go.
Your rocket is ready for launch. Every good launch starts with a big green button and lots of fire.
Big green button and lots of fire.
Looking good. Ascend to 1,000 meters, and then we'll learn some controls.
All right.
Okay, you're a kilometer up. You can still crash, but you'll have more time to correct your course if you start pointing at the ground.
You can still crash. You'll just have more time to do it.
Flying a rocket or a plane, we have specific terms for moving. Pitch tilts your rocket's nose up and down.
Correct. Whee! Whee!
Nice up until you're flying straight up.
Alright, well that's showing straight up, so I'm not sure where it wants me to go here. I'm going straight up. I don't understand. Something's gone wrong here. I don't know what's gone wrong. I'm going straight up here and it's not being nice to me. How do I... How do I change... I mean, I'm straight up here. What? The simulator must be broken. How do I advance from this? I guess technically I'm not straight up and down yet. I don't understand. I thought I had done everything here.
Let's move on.
There we
Yaw
go.
steers your rocket left and right. Try it now.
I guess I needed to pitch
Now
more.
yaw to the left. Excellent. Now for the final control. That's the basics of rocket flight. Feel free to experiment with the controls. We can move on when you're ready.
Alright. I guess it got sick of me trying to do it. Alright, go on to the next tutorial.
So you want to get to space.
Yes.
It's time to make a rocket.
Okay. Yes, let's continue.
A simple rocket requires 4 crucial components: a command module, fuel tank, engine, and parachute.
Got it.
Let's start by learning how to add a command module.
Alright.
A command module allows us to control our vessel. As long as there is at least one command module on board, our rocket will be operational. This rocket will use a command pod, which can be manned by a Kerbal and is located in the pods category. Or multiple Kerbals. It all depends on the crew capacity of the part.
Got it. So, which one do you want me to pick?
For this lesson, we're going to make a small rocket, so we need a small command pod. Let's add this one.
The tin can.
Great! It doesn't look like much, but it's a promising start. The next thing our rocket needs is a fuel tank. Fuel, or propellant, is an expendable resource used to power our vessels. Without fuel, we won't be going anywhere, let alone space. Let's look. How about that one? Rocketry Weekly calls it good enough. How exciting.
Good enough.
Notice the part is once again attached to your cursor. If you place your cursor near the bottom of your command pod, you'll see it snap into place. Then left-click to attach it. Now that's beginning to look like a rocket.
Is it?
Well, almost. We need an engine. Here at the
Do we?
KSP, we have 4 different types of engines.
Launcher,
Sustainer,
sustainer,
orbital,
orbital,
and
and a
deep space
base.
engines.
Someone just whoop me. Alright, continue.
To break free of Kerbin's soupy atmosphere, we want either a launcher or sustainer engine. I personally like sustainers. What can I say? They keep me going.
Oh my.
Now let's add the sustainer engine to the fuel tank.
So how do we know launcher, sustainer? It says right there. Radial, sustainer, sustainer, aerospike. Orbital, that's a sustainer. Launcher. Methane, okay, I see what they're saying. Deep space. Okay.
Excellent! Our rocket is looking pretty great. We just need one final touch. As is, our rocket can absolutely take flight. But if we want our pilot to survive the landing, we need to attach a parachute to the top of their command pod.
Okay.
Our one Kerbal rocket doesn't weigh much, so we only need an extra small parachute. Let's go with that one. Now, all we need to do is put it on top of the command pod. It won't do... Congratulations! You've just built a rocket. Are you sure you haven't done this before?
Well, I mean, yes, but no. Next.
As you start to build rockets, you'll want to see your designs from other angles. Let's learn how to manipulate the camera inside the vehicle assembly
Hey, there's a plane there. There's a shuttle there. Plane, shuttle, plane, shuttle, plane, plane. As you start to build rockets, you want to see us. Okay, it's inside. Okay.
First, let's rotate the camera. Nice. Now let's zoom the camera in.
Zoom
and
in,
great.
zoom out,
Now
zoom in,
let's
zoom
pan
out,
the camera
zoom in,
up
zoom out.
and down. You can also focus your camera at a specific part.
Middle click.
If you want to view your rocket from the top, front, or sides, switch to blueprint mode. You can change the camera's direction by selecting different sides. If you ever get lost in the VAB, you can always reset the camera.
So I don't understand blueprint mode. Oh. Okay. Recently, you can always reset the camera. Press the home key to reset the camera. Home.
Nice.
Alright.
Now you can get at those hard-to-reach parts of your rocket.
You mean like zooming in all the way and putting something inside? I like the victory music. Makes me feel like I accomplished something.
Your rocket's ready. Let's take it out for a little hop.
Little hop. Okay.
Let's move this rocket to a launch pad.
Let's go launch pad 3.
Welcome to the launch pad. Today you'll be flying straight up. Your rocket should do fine without any steering inputs, but if things get out of line somehow, feel free to intervene.
I'm intervening! Okay, so we just go. We just go.
You've cleared the launch tower and your flight is underway. Let's learn about staging.
Okay.
Rockets are constructed in sections called stages.
Right.
Each stage is designed for a different part of a mission.
Correct.
When a stage completes its job, it's dropped to shed weight.
Dead weight, yes.
On your right, you'll find the staging stack. It displays all of the functions contained in each stage. Every time you select the Go button, you'll activate a new stage, starting from the bottom of the stack.
Dad,
What?
this is supposed to be a sleeping bag. Can you zip it up and make it into a sleeping bag?
I want to... Don't use that, because we've got to sew that up and everything. So...
Okay. I can ask Mom to sew it up really quick.
Okay. So now we hit go. Oh, continue.
Each stage's fuel supply is shown on a bar next to the stage. Your active stage, stage 1, still has a little fuel in it. When it goes dry, you'll drop that stage by selecting Go.
Got it.
Your first stage is out of fuel, and all it is doing is slowing you down. To drop that weight, you're going to activate your next stage. That will
Technically, it's
activate
not
the
slowing us
to
down.
drop
We're slowing
the
down
stage.
because we've run out of
It will
thrust.
also activate your next engine. Once you activate a stage, there's no going back. Ready? Hit go to lose that mass.
Done. I think I hit go a little too soon.
Congratulations! You're nearly to space, and your next set of fuel tanks are empty. Now is a good time to drop them.
Okay.
Activate the next stage to separate those tanks. Your capsule will now continue coasting up. All that's left to do is gaze back down at Kerbin and wonder if you remembered to lock your car. Nice work!
Did I remember to lock my car? Did I leave the oven on? I'd be more concerned about if I left the oven on. Let's turn this off and let's... really spin things up here. Get her to fly apart. I guess we're still in a soupy atmosphere. Uh-oh, she's getting sick. Look at Valentine. She's getting sick. She's getting all... Oh, dear. She's all worried now. Oh, now she's happy. Oh, that was awesome. I didn't see her get... She gets sick. Watch. We're spinning up here. Now watch. Going super fast. See, she's starting to get sick.
That they didn't have that in the old days.
They didn't.
What? Did the creators of Kerbal just add that because they knew people would spin it around?
I don't know.
I think they probably did it that way.
We're falling back to the planet.
They probably just did that for people's amusement.
And she's happy again. That's awesome.
Your capsule has a lot of momentum. If you're curious how high up you are, take a look at your altimeter. You're so high that you can see the curve of the horizon.
I can see my house from here. And I can see their house, and their house, and their house, and their house. And that's where I had lunch yesterday.
Rocketry involves a lot of waiting between the cool explosions. You can speed up time by selecting the time warp controls at the bottom of your screen. Check, you're about to start falling back down. Let's slow down and enjoy the view.
Not slowing down yet.
Great job. You're now a master of time. Try not to use this new power for evil.
How do I use the new power for evil?
Hey, Dad.
What?
They need you to connect these to the Wi-Fi.
Connect them to the Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's our power button?
It's
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just told. Are they charged?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Oh, battery.
No. What's the problem?
What's the problem?
Ooh, that's a C cable, Dad. That's a C.
Press the same button 3 times. Okay. And now we need to go into
Internet should be.
into here. Yep.
Molly.
Yeah. Do you have a charger for this?
I've got some C chargers. If you want to plug that in right now.
Yeah, sure. Yes, it is.
This is in airplane mode.
Yeah,
We
it's
need to
charging,
turn
it's
off
charging.
airplane mode. Internet. Connect. Sorry, guys. They're having a sleepover tonight.
Wait, can you play a piano lesson for us? Wait, I want to try to play something. Wait, I want to. Hold on. Can I try? Hold on. Does this sound like a thunderstorm? Yeah. Yes.
But Dad's connecting them to the Wi-Fi.
Alright, that one's connected.
Sam. Connect it to the Wi-Fi.
No, that's upside down.
This is upside down.
Yeah.
Very different from a normal controller.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, might have waited too long, Dad.
No, I didn't wait too long.
You might want to turn off airplane. Yeah?
I saved her. Into the trees we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. Why did it splash? We landed on the ground. There shouldn't have been a splash. Alright, this one's successfully connected. We're gonna let this charge up for a bit.
What goes up must come down. Wind resistance will slow down your capsule's descent, but not enough to prevent it from turning into a bunch of tiny capsules when it lands. That's why we've attached a parachute.
At least that's a conventional wisdom.
If you deploy your parachute too early, it'll be torn off. If you deploy it too late, you'll do some unplanned underground exploration.
Unplanned
The sweet spot for
underground
Kerbin is between
exploration.
20,000 and 2,000 meters.
Yeah, we kind of nailed that last one at about 1,200 meters, so
Okay,
it was really
you're
close.
low enough to activate the final stage that contains your parachute. Hit go to pop your chute.
Oh, all right. We'll play it your way.
Nice work. The parachute will trail your capsule for a bit without fully opening. Once you've slowed down enough, it'll open all the way by itself.
That's a long drop. I was gonna say, I wonder if I had to hit continue to move that on, otherwise it might not.
And slowing the capsule to a safe velocity. Congratulations! If this were real, you'd find celebratory snacks in the VAB kitchen.
Celebratory snacks, yay! I could use a celebratory snack right now. Too bad I don't have a celebratory snack. It's gonna want me to float all the way down to the bottom, huh? Yeah, it splashes every time, even if it hits dirt. Interesting. The atmosphere slow down. End tutorial. Did I go through all 7 of those already? This thing's gonna keep connecting and disconnecting, isn't it? I did. I guess I went through all of those trainings for that. Yep, space is the place. Missing the ground. Hey, we get to learn about orbital mechanics. I haven't been through these tutorials, so I'm torturing all of you doing it.
If you want to visit space for more than a couple of minutes, you'll need to get to orbit. An object is in orbit when it's moving sideways so quickly that even as gravity causes it to fall, it keeps missing the ground. As long as that object isn't slowed down by anything, it follows the same path every time it goes around the body it's orbiting. Forever. If that object is a Kerbal, it is recommended that they bring lots of snacks. So since your goal is to move horizontally at a high speed, why not launch sideways? On Kerbin, the atmosphere is like a thick soup. You waste a lot of fuel trying to fly through it horizontally. By launching vertically, you cut through
I
the
didn't think
thickest
I
part
was
of the
dropping that
atmosphere
many
as quickly
frames,
as
guys.
possible.
You're seeing a lot of... It's smooth on my end, but the frames are dropping like mad. I didn't notice that.
This maneuver, called a gravity turn, uses the planet's gravity to turn the ship and reduces the amount of fuel needed to achieve a stable
I should
orbit.
probably turn some settings
By
down, but...
launching near the equator,
Yeah, it's
your
smooth
gravity
on my
turns
end.
the
I'm
ship
sorry
back
it's
toward
not
the
on your
east,
guys'
since
end.
your vehicle gets a free boost from the planet's rotation.
I just
Thanks,
noticed I
planet.
was dropping a lot of frames.
Once a vehicle is moving quickly enough that its arc will
It's only
take it above the
6%, so
atmosphere,
it's not too
it
bad.
shuts down its engines and coasts to space. Once it nears the top of that arc, the vehicle needs to fire its engines a second time to keep itself from falling back down to the planet. Doing this turns that arc into a nice big circle. Congratulations! You've missed the ground.
She collided with another object in orbit. That's never a good thing. Next. Okay. Let me see if I can get into some video settings and turn some stuff down here just a smidgen. So the video is a little smoother for you guys. I didn't even notice that it wasn't smooth until now. Because I'm not watching
When
this
you're
screen
making
over
a
here,
rocket,
right?
it's often easiest to work top to bottom, tailoring each stage to carry the weight of everything above it. To give you a head start, I've already placed an upper stage, perfect for maneuvering in the vacuum of space. It could use another, more powerful stage
I
to
think
push
you'll
it out
just
to
have to live
space
with it.
on Kerbin's surface. Let's turn this vehicle into a multi-stage rocket.
Right. Thought it already was. Yeah, it's multi-stage. 1, 2, and 3. 3 is multi. What? I mean...
Anytime we intend to drop an empty stage after using all of its fuel, we connect it to the stage above it using a decoupler. A decoupler contains explosive bolts that, when activated by a staging
It contains
action,
explosives.
eject the attached
Enough said.
stage away from the rest of the vehicle.
Right.
Add that decoupler to the bottom of your rocket. We need to attach a larger, more powerful lower stage to the bottom of your rocket. To keep things simple, I've whipped up a new lower stage in another workspace. You can bring saved vehicles and other sub-assemblies into an in-progress workspace by... Out in the real world, this list would show all of your saved workspaces. Here in the simulator, I'm only showing you the lower stage you need to merge.
Aw. Oh, sad. Merge.
Now that the lower stage has been merged into your current workspace, you can see it next to the upper stage. Select the lower stage and connect it to the decoupler beneath the upper stage to create a single two-stage rocket. Perfect! Merging is a very powerful tool. Anytime you want to reuse a particular booster, lander, or other element from an existing rocket, merging saves you the hassle of making the same thing over and over.
Over and over and over and over! Dum, 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 dum. Oh, look. Our staging's all screwed up now. Dun, dun, dun. I don't think they planned on that in the simulators.
Space rockets sometimes need an extra boost. In a rare case of rocket scientists naming something well, these additional rocket engines are called boosters. Boosters are attached to the sides of a vehicle to keep them out of the way of the main engines. Solid fuel rockets make great boosters. They produce a very high thrust for a short time. Let's attach some boosters to the sides of your vehicle.
Okay.
We'll start by attaching 4 radial decouplers that will eject the spent boosters when they're empty. To make sure that these decouplers are evenly spaced and aligned with one another, you'll be using the symmetry tool.
Okay. So I wonder if I can still use X on that too. Oh, I can. Okay.
3 more evenly spaced duplicates will appear around the rocket. Go ahead and add 4 radial decouplers. Perfect! Now you've got 4 radial decouplers exactly where they need to be.
Exactly where I want them.
Let's attach those solid fuel boosters.
Little fellas.
Since you're still in 4x symmetry mode, simply attach this booster to one of the decouplers you just placed. That will attach copies of that booster to the remaining decouplers.
Right about there.
Great job! You've finished your orbital rocket. You can symmetrically
Did
place
I?
up to 8 parts at once. A feat that could until now only be achieved by certain sea creatures.
Okay, well, whatever. Next. I think it was more than just certain sea creatures. I'm pretty certain that.
Before you launch a rocket, you need to plan the order of your staging events. Nobody wants to start out their flight by popping their parachute, right?
What?
Most parts that can be staged
It's
are
still got a ways to
automatically
go,
assigned
son. It's only at
stages.
8%,
The
9%.
activation order can be
It's
saved
got a
in
ways
the
to go.
staging stack. You can change when staging events occur by moving them between stages. You can also add, remove, and reorder stages. Best of all, you can do this in both the VAB and in flight.
Awesome.
The staging order begins at the bottom of the staging stack. You want your boosters and main engine to fire together for maximum thrust.
Sometimes.
The solid fuel boosters are currently in the second stage. If we don't change anything, the boosters will ignite late and detach themselves at the same time. This would be embarrassing for everybody, so let's move the boosters down to stage 1. Your solid fuel boosters burn very hard and very fast, so they will run out of fuel first. Even though your main engine and boosters will activate at the same time, you want to drop the empty boosters before you drop your main engine.
Well, of course.
You'll add a new stage above stage 1 to do one thing. Activate the radial decouplers to jettison your spent boosters.
Alright, we're gonna move this guy up here because I did it wrong. There. Click the plus on the left of the stage 1.
Now
There.
move all 4 radial decouplers from stage 4 to your new stage 2.
Done.
All done. Your remaining stages are set up so that stage 4 will activate your orbital stage's engine. Stage 5 will detach the orbital stage's fuel tank when it's empty. And stage 6 will deploy your landing parachute.
Got it.
Thanks to you, this rocket is ready to fly.
Right. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, we're ready to light this candle. In this flight, you're going all the way to orbit. I'll walk you through the process of launching, executing a gravity turn to get moving sideways, coasting to orbital altitude, and doing a final burn at the top of your arc to establish a stable orbit.
Okay. I was waiting for something to happen. I gotta click a button.
Let's talk about the nav ball. The nav ball shows your vehicle's orientation relative to the horizon. The blue half of the ball represents the sky, and the brown half represents the ground. The level indicator at the center shows your vehicle's orientation. When you turn, the ball turns. When you roll, the ball rolls. Assuming you want your rocket pointed at the sky, you'll want to see lots of blue on the nav ball. If you get confused, remember this rhyme. If the nav ball's brown, you're going down.
Got it.
At launch, you want all your engines at maximum thrust, which means you need to set your throttle at 100%. Your solid fuel boosters are way ahead of you on this. They have no setting other than full throttle, and they can't be shut off once
What's
they're
it
lit.
got?
Once you hit the go button, they'll go full tilt until they run out of fuel. Still, your main engine's throttle is in your control.
Got it.
You can see your main throttle here.
Uh-huh.
Left shift gradually increases your throttle. Left control, your fuel levels are visible within the staging stack. Right now, you can see that your main engine and 4 boosters are all topped off and ready to rumble. It's time to go. At the start, all you need to do is fly straight up. I'll check back in with you once those boosters are empty. Good
Got it.
luck.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna die. Ooh, pretty.
All right, the solid fuel boosters are empty. Let's drop them. It's time to start your gravity turn. A gravity turn uses the pull of the planet's gravity to help bend your vertical ascent into a horizontal arc. It's the first step to entering orbit. For our first flight to orbit, we're going to start our gravity turn up to where the air is thin, at an altitude of around 10,000 meters. To show you where to aim your rocket, I've placed a target marker on your nav ball.
Okay.
First, we need to get to 10,000 meters. You're going to yaw towards the east so that the target marker is in the center of the nav ball. Your vessel and nav ball should look like this example video if you're performing the gravity turn correctly.
Got it.
Way to make Kerbin's gravity work for you. Your current stage's fuel is empty. Let's drop it and activate your Great job! Your rocket is on its way to orbit. As you gain experience, you can make your gravity turns more efficient by starting to tilt your rocket soon after liftoff. Adjusting course with a series of small corrections instead of one big one will leave you with a lot more fuel when you get to orbit. Turning immediately after launch requires a very stable rocket. So if you ever have trouble keeping the pointy end up, you can try the simplified wait and turn method we use today.
Okay. Let's see how we're doing on our orbital scale here. Actually, that's a really decent burn there. We could stay on this course for a little bit. We'd almost get full circularization here. Hey, how's it going? Next. We're running the tutorials because I haven't done those yet.
Right now, we're on a ballistic trajectory. If no further adjustments are made, your rocket will eventually fall back down to the ground. Our objective is to turn this arc into an orbit. The process of turning your trajectory into a circular orbit is called circularization. Partial credit to the rocket people on that one.
Other than basic patches
really
and fixes, no new content, no. It does have the word circle in it, but it's really hard to say.
When planning and executing orbital maneuvers, you'll want to switch to map view, where you can see every part of your current trajectory.
Which we can still get to by hitting M.
The blue arc passing through your vehicle is its current trajectory, the path your rocket will follow if you don't touch the controls anymore. Our goal is to make that arc into a circular orbit. After you've coasted nearly to the top of this arc, you're going to point forward, and then you're going to ignite your engine.
Right.
If you time this burn right, you'll never quite get to the top of the arc, as it'll keep widening in front of you until it wraps
No
all
clear
the way around
career
the planet.
mode or science mode yet. It's still just the sandbox. Which is one reason why I'm doing the tutorials.
Let's break that down a little more. The top of your arc has a helpful tag in map view. It's called the apoapsis, abbreviated as AP. You're going to max out your throttle before you pass this point.
Right.
We're paused at just before the apoapsis. You're all lined up and ready to go.
I
The next
probably should
step
have
is
waited
to
a little
go
longer on
max
that one.
throttle. It can take time for your arc to fully expand into an orbit. If you look closely at where your trajectory meets the ground, you'll see it moving toward the horizon.
Alright, you're all lined up. Next go.
Once your trajectory reaches all the way around the planet, you'll see another marker on your orbit. This is the periapsis, or PE, the lowest point in your orbit. It'll always live on the opposite side of your orbit from the apoapsis, or highest point. By burning prograde near your apoapsis, you increase the altitude of your periapsis, the lowest point on your orbit.
Right.
Here's the most important thing to remember about setting up an orbit above an atmosphere. Your periapsis must be higher than the atmosphere, or your rocket will start to slow down every time it dips into the upper atmosphere. On Kerbin, that means every part of your orbit must be higher than 70 kilometers. You did it! You're in orbit! This is when I'd usually tell you to look under your seat in the simulator, where you'd find a delicious celebratory treat. Sadly, since the vending machine in the astrodynamics lab broke down, it has gotten very difficult to hide snacks anywhere at KSC. Feel free to take a moment to admire your first orbit.
But I want a celebratory snack.
A mind snack, which is way better than the edible kind anyway, right?
No. No,
Right?
not at all. No, not at all. Why is it? Oh, because we've gone through all of them. Okay, and tutorial. I was waiting for it to say next, but we've reached the end of that tutorial. On to the next. Training center. Okay. Orbits are weird.
Orbits are weird. Remember your orbiting baseball? What if you wanted to make its orbit higher? Well, it's a baseball, so grab your bat and try to hit the ball to a higher orbit. Your first thought might be to try to deflect the ball upwards. Unfortunately, hitting the ball upward bends its orbit so that it hits the ground before it can return to you. What you need to do is hit the ball in the direction it's already moving, adding to its already high velocity. Now that you've sped the ball up, why isn't it flying any higher? It just keeps whizzing by at the same height it always did. After all, I said that making it go faster would make it go higher. What gives? The ball is actually going higher, but it's going higher on the opposite side of the planet from where you're standing. You've raised its orbit, and you've learned the first lesson of orbital maneuvering. Your actions affect the opposite side of your orbit. Weird, huh? So your ball is moving faster, but it's still passing you at the same height. How do you get its orbit higher on this side of the planet? Now that you know how changes in velocity affect the other side of your orbit, you've got all you need. By adding velocity to the ball at the highest point in its orbit, you raise the lowest point in its orbit and make it circular again.
He. He's got his helmet on. He can't eat his donut. Yes, yeah, exactly. Hit everything with a baseball bat. It that way it will achieve greatness.
An equatorial orbit is good, but if you want to travel beyond Kerbin, you'll need to manipulate your orbit. Let's start with something simple, expanding an orbit. We do that by increasing the value of our apoapsis. Let's get a good view.
All right, to the map section.
Remember how you circularized your orbit by increasing your forward velocity? To raise your orbit, not just do more of the
Exactly,
same.
very
It's
TF2.
time to burn prograde.
It's extremely TF2 of them. Let's burn prograde, okay? So,
Now
aim.
that we're pointed the right way, we can increase the throttle and watch our orbit expand. Ooh, cut the throttle. If you overdo it, you'll leave Kerbin's orbit entirely.
Oh, jeez.
Nice. That maneuver raised our orbit on the other side of Kerbin, so we will enter high orbit there. Waiting to reach a specific point can be as eventful as watching the neon stripes on your rover dry. The good job will be worth it, but isn't it better to rush to the end? Skip ahead to the good stuff using a time warp.
What?
Like I said earlier, the highest point of our orbit is called the apoapsis. The lowest point of our orbit is known as the periapsis. By default, your camera is focused on your vessel, so if you can't see either of these points, adjust your camera.
Yay.
Scroll the middle mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Double-click an object to center your camera on it. Click Excellent! You can time warp to any position on your trajectory by selecting a point on your vehicle's current path, and then selecting Time Warp to Point. Now you're way up in the sky, so high that if you circularize your orbit now, you'll be in high orbit. Wow, the black starry void looks so small from here.
So we're not going to complete the burn? Oh, I wanted flames.
From command pods to space probe cores, a lot of critical rocket parts use electric charge. You'll want to design your rocket so it can generate and store EC.
Right.
Most rocket engines generate electric charge while active, but we'll still need a way to keep our batteries full while coasting between maneuvers.
Okay.
Solar panels convert Kerbal's light into EC for our rockets. Small solar panels can just be placed, but large solar panels are delicate and must only be deployed once we're out of the atmosphere. I've equipped this rocket with 2 deployable solar panels. Here's a hand crank. Get to work.
And crank.
Just kidding. There's a handy button that opens all of them with a single click. Give it a try. Great!
Whee!
The solar panels are now extended. Light tracking solar panels only rotate on one axis, so we may need to reorient our ship to point them fully at the sun. Let's make sure the panels are getting direct sunlight by rolling our ship a little bit. Excellent. The solar panels are soaking up all of those sweet photons and giving our rocket some much-needed EC. You can see the status of any solar panel within the part manager in the electrical parts menu. You can either access the app directly by clicking the app button, or you can right-click a part to directly access it in the part manager.
I can't read any of that because they've got the thing over the top of it. Maybe I can move the parts manager. There we go. So exposure 97.97 electric charge. Awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and close that. It still wants me to look at something here.
Getting EC is one thing, and storing it is another. Most command pods have a small battery, but many missions will call for additional EC storage.
Right.
When we're traveling far from the sun or going to the dark side of a planet, more batteries means more peace of mind.
Yes. In some cases. I wonder if you can still, like, pack and stack and rack batteries on these things.
At some point, the crew will run out of snacks. Did you know a Kerbal is 99.9% more likely to crash when hungry? That's when it's time to head back down to Kerbin, a planet known for its plentiful snack options. First, let's get a better view for this operation. Remember how we burned prograde to raise our orbit? To lower our orbit, we burn in the opposite direction, retrograde.
Retro.
SAS can really help us out here, so let's turn that on.
Ding.
Now flip retrograde, the opposite. All right, the rocket is aligned to retrograde. Increase the throttle and burn until our trajectory is just past the atmosphere.
So we got 39.
As we decelerate, watch what's happening to our periapsis. Once it enters the atmosphere, this rocket is on a path back to the ground. Don't ease off the throttle yet, though. We're going to keep burning until our trajectory intercepts the ground. This should give us a good idea where our capsule will land. That's it. Let's stop our burn.
That's a real steep re-entry, though.
Now that we're on a collision course with Kerbin, we need to turn that collision into something more survivable. This process of crashing without dying is called landing. Our upcoming stage will activate a decoupler, dropping the engine and exposing a very important heat shield. Why don't you do that now?
Okay. They're going to be kicking off a lot of good fuel, but we'll do it your way.
Great. We're on our way down and our heat shield is exposed. Have you ever wondered what a
Bye-bye,
marshmallow
wasted
feels like
fuel.
when it catches on fire? You're about to find out.
Where's our planet? There's our planet. Logic says yes, but health and safety says really? Alright, back to the training. I think we've got orbital transfers. Learning how to go from one body to another. Much like dating.
Orbital transfers. As you know, the faster you go, the higher your orbit gets. If you get moving fast enough, your orbit may cross the orbit of some other object, like a moon or a planet. The closest celestial body to Kerbin is the Mun. If you're looking for somewhere else to fly
It's
around,
not amused.
the Mun is a good choice. The real trick to getting there is timing your departure so that the Mun captures your vehicle at its highest point. If you mistime your departure,
Giggity,
you may miss the
indeed.
Mun, which creates a lot of paperwork. Let's assume you've left at the right time and the Mun is there to meet you. As your vessel approaches the Mun, it enters a zone in which the Mun's gravitational influence on your orbit is stronger than Kerbin's. This zone is called the Mun's sphere of influence. You've had to go very quickly to escape Kerbin's gravity, much too fast for the Mun's low gravity to capture you. If you don't slow down, your vehicle will speed past the Mun and be flung farther into space.
Whoops.
Remember what I said about paperwork? Once you're in the Mun's gravity well, the best way to slow down is to fire your engines backwards until your trajectory becomes
Like
a
that
nice,
stamp.
stable orbit. Now you're a moon of the Mun.
I need to see if I can get a replica of that stamp, because that would be awesome to just put on random papers at work.
Our rocket is in orbit over Kerbin and ready to fly. The mission today is to, drumroll please, intercept and orbit the Mun. To be captured by the Mun's gravity, our vessel must cross into the Mun's sphere of influence, or SOI, the zone in which its gravity is stronger than any other celestial body around it.
Right.
We're going to create a maneuver plan to figure out when and how long we need to fire our engines to intercept the Mun.
Okay.
Great! Now here's a new trick. We can select any object as a target in map view. Targeting gives us useful information and enables new tools. Once we've targeted a celestial body or other object in space, our maneuver will
Right.
provide closest pass and plane
Just
angle
like,
information. This can be very helpful for meeting up with someone or something in space. Right now, our camera is following our vessel as it orbits Kerbin. Let's adjust our camera until we can see the mun. Then, right-click to target it.
Set as target.
We want to place this maneuver plan with two things in mind. First, the mun is in motion.
No.
We can't aim our spacecraft where the mun is right now. Instead, we have to aim where the mun will be after our vehicle has coasted all the way from Kerbin.
Okay, all the way to Kerbin, okay?
Second, remember how increasing velocity raises the opposite side of our orbit? Since we're placing this maneuver plan where we intend to start our burn, we should place it on the opposite side of Kerbin from where we intend to intercept the mun.
Increase maneuver plan where we intend to start our burn. We should put it opposite side of Kerbin from where we intend to intercept. Okay, I think I understand. That was a weird way to word it, but okay.
Placing a maneuver plan usually involves making a best guess, and then fiddling with the maneuver until you get an intercept. Fortunately, you've got a crack navigator with you today. By my calculations, we'll want to put our maneuver here.
Open the context menu by left-clicking the pointer. Okay, create maneuver.
Excellent! We've just created a maneuver plan. While we could find out if our departure timing is correct by just picking a direction and maxing the throttle, a maneuver plan tells us in advance how much delta V we'll need, how long we'll need to burn, and in what direction our vessel will need to point during the maneuver.
What'd she do?
You chased after the cat. Bad dog. Go lay down.
The dog's picking on my cat again. No, lay down. Over there. Don't even come over here.
Okay.
You stay. You stay. Alright, how much delta V in the okay, pointing okay.
Grab and pull the arrows to plan a burn along that direction. This maneuver is pretty simple. We want to burn prograde and expand our orbit.
Zoom out a bit.
Nice! That maneuver event towards the end of your trajectory is exactly what we're looking for. It tells that if we execute this plan, we'll intercept the mun.
Nice.
If a maneuver looks right, but we're not getting the intercept we expect, we can change the starting position of the maneuver by grabbing and dragging the middle of the maneuver plan along our orbit. It's very common to refine a maneuver plan by adjusting both the position of the maneuver and the direction of the planned burn. If we don't want to maneuver at all, we can delete the plan, either by right-clicking the gizmo and selecting delete, or through the burn timer.
Okay.
Maneuvers are invaluable when leaving Kerbin. Feel free to come back and practice anytime.
I guess we don't get to do a maneuver. Just plan a maneuver.
We've got a maneuver plan that intercepts the mun. Now we just need to execute that maneuver and fly to the mun ourselves.
Okay. Turn map view by pressing M.
Whenever we have a maneuver plan, a burn timer will appear. The timer shows you how much time is left until we need to execute the maneuver. I've paused the simulation for a moment, so this number won't count down quite yet.
What's up? All right. Pause. Okay, so we're gonna move on.
The timer also tells us how long we'll need to burn our engines at 100% throttle in order to complete the maneuver.
46 seconds. 842 delta V required.
Now let's take a look at the nav ball. A new marker has joined our old prograde and retrograde markers. This is called a maneuver marker, and it shows us the orientation of our planned maneuver. We'll want to make sure that this marker is in the center of our nav ball during our maneuver burn. Luckily, we can aim at this maneuver marker by selecting the maneuver button on your SAS controls.
Like so.
Now your vehicle is properly oriented. And through the magic of SAS and more math than I'd like to admit, our vessel is properly oriented. We're still far from our planned burn, so let's speed things up.
Okay.
While we could rely on our reflexes to time warp at the perfect moment, a less stressful alternative is warping to a specific point in our orbit. See this button? Select it to warp automatically to the moment before our maneuver begins.
That's helpful.
Departure burn, here we come. Great! We've exited just before our maneuver burn, and I've paused the simulation once more. After we select continue, remember to wait until the countdown reaches 0. Then we'll go full throttle until our burn timer reaches 0. Then cut the throttle quickly to avoid overshooting our target.
Got it.
Okay, get ready to hit the throttle.
22, 21, 20. 14, 13, 12, 11, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. I like the tree.
And go. Fire those engines. Watch the burn timer. We want to stop our burn once it reaches 0.
Oh, hey, I'm getting raided. Got to be kidding. Thanks for the raid, man. 27, 26, 25, 24. I'm sure that tree is going to start counting down when I get close too. That's very helpful. I like that tree. Four, three, two, one. Awesome.
Great
I
work.
love that tree.
You've successfully executed a maneuver, and now we're on our way to the Mun.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, man. Thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. It is, and that's one of the things I like about the Twitch community is they do support, and you know I try and catch as many streams of everyone else as much as I can, but you know with work and everything, I just usually will catch them offline and review from their pages. So, but yeah, I mean it's a great community. I love it. So I appreciate all the raids.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while to reach the Mun, but don't let the wait fool you.
Um.
We're now moving faster
Yeah,
than
we're.
any Kerbal has ever flown before. When we enter the Mun's sphere of influence, we'll be going way too fast for the Mun's gravity to capture our vehicle.
So is it okay?
Yeah. Just this thing is still charging, but it
Nice.
keeps bumping in and out. It's so I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah, guys. My dad said yes.
There. I think I fixed it. The cable wasn't quite in there. But don't let the fool you. Okay, when I move fast. Sorry, I didn't listen to what you said because I had everybody else talking to me. That thing's still gonna beep. You know what? I know they want me to charge it. I'm gonna do a different charging method here with it. Give me 1 second, guys. They gotta have their DSs or their Nintendos working here. Oh, I'd lose that light. Gonna use my work laptop to charge this thing. I should charge quick now. Alright. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you have a lot of stuff happening. Sleepovers. Yeah, it's going fairly well. I mean, I've tinkered around with a little bit. I did have it running under Linux, but there were some issues with my machine recently, and I lost a lot of stuff. And yeah, so now we're trying to do this.
To orbit the Mun, we'll need to burn retrograde once we're inside its SOI,
Right.
or sphere of influence. This will slow us down enough
Really wish
to
I could
keep us from
relocate this
being
window.
whipped into interplanetary space.
Go to M.
Let's start by time warping until we're within the Mun sphere of influence. That's the sphere within which the Mun is the primary gravitational influence on your vehicle. Let's get a little bolder with our time warp this time.
Yeah, thanks. You have a great weekend too. Don't get in too much trouble.
Farewell, Kerbin. We'll miss you.
I do like these target zones.
Welcome to the Mun sphere of influence. Let's slow down to normal time so we can create our capture maneuver. Did you notice that we've got a periapsis above the Mun, but no apoapsis?
Yes.
That's because we're going too fast to complete an orbit before sailing past the Mun.
Yes.
Don't worry, we have time to adjust. Our objective is to slow down enough so that both apoapsis and periapsis are within the Mun sphere
Probably
of
hit that too
influence.
early.
Remember the rule of orbital opposites. Because we want to lower your apoapsis, we'll need to place our maneuver plan at the periapsis. Let's get started.
Or we can just wing it, but
In order to reduce our apoapsis, we need to slow down by burning backwards, or retrograde. This is a little like deorbiting over Kerbin, but we're going to stop burning before our trajectory meets Mun dust. Maneuver plan set. Next up, let's make sure we're pointed where we need to be.
alright. Point towards our
If the
maneuver.
maneuver is right, and we're pointed in the right direction, now we need to time warp to the right position.
Yeah, it's treating me alright. I need to adjust some settings. I'm dropping some frames when I get into some deeper video, but I mean it's running alright. What you guys see is a little jumpy, but it's 100% smooth on my side. Just the encoding. I mean, I'm at 9% frames dropped right now, so. Alright, so we want to go to this maneuver. Got a
And we're on our
9-second
way.
burn. And how you doing, Vulcan? Did you have a good
Almost
day?
there. When the countdown reaches 0, throttle up to start your capture burn.
And for everybody else who got into my stream, welcome. If you haven't seen my stream before, I hope you enjoy. If you have, well, welcome back. Okay, we're 17 seconds, 15, 14, 13. And all of this, I don't know if you guys can see this detail on the side, all this weird, but that's because we're in the training modules, and this is like the simulation
Throttle
view
up,
type
keep
of thing.
burning until the burn timer reaches 0.
It's supposed to like let you know that you're in the simulator.
Shut the engines now. We have an orbit. Fantastic. That was some fancy flying. Looks to me like you're about ready to try this for real.
You're right. Tutorial complete. You have learned everything you need to learn. I haven't learned where the snacks are yet. I mean, I've got one cold snack here, but, you know. Let's see, do we have any other training? Nope, we've gone through all of the training. Alright. So now we know what the training's like in this game. It's pretty cool. No, I think those training lessons were very well put together. I dig it. How do I get revert to Space Center? Alright, let's look at our... Let's build a rocket. Oh. Well, I mean, you know, that's always fantastic. No, I family always comes first, man. Don't even give it a second thought. You can construct several. Yeah, okay. How do I turn these things off now? Oh yeah, I'll have to check him out. All right, let's start with a small pod. Is this all we have? All right, we need to put a parachute on here. And we need to put a decoupler. Oh, that's stress. We want decouplers. And we want a little itty bitty fuel tank. We want a little itty bitty engine. Oh, that's a little too small of a feller. That's better. Sorry about that. I had to scroll my chat window down. It wasn't playing nice. Um, yeah, I mean that's kids will be kids. You know. They're they just they want time by themselves, and you know it's it's one of the things we have to deal with as parents. But it's yeah. My daughter knows better, but I like littles. All right, let's put. Guess we could put a skipper on there. Skipper! No, that's pretty big. It's not the one I wanted. I think I wanted the swivel. Yeah, we want the swivel. Alright, now we want some control surfaces on this thing. Go with medium. And we want to go 4x. Oh, those are a lot bigger than I thought. Okay, let's go small. That's better. Alright. Wish I had Kerbal Engineer in here so I knew how much delta V we had, but does this give me a readout of my total delta V? Launch assembly, anchor, color manager. I don't see anything here that would indicate any kind of sign of a trip planner, huh? Oh! This is a bad idea. Okay. All right, so that tells me what my current. I think that's what my current delta V is. Let's see if it changes. Yeah. So okay. So this is my current delta V, 3,874. Okay. So if we want to go to the Mun, we need a little more fuel. Okay. So that's helpful. I like that. That's really good. Yeah. But you know, live and learn. We've all been there. Um, what if we just strap some big boys on this thing here? Those are big decouplers. We want some of these smaller decouplers. That should go in between those. Okay, and we want to go back to the motors. And that's a 200, 2.8. Yeah, that'll give us thrust. I don't know if I need 4 of them. I mean, that's gonna be a lot of extra delta V, but hey, you know, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen out there, right? I'll give you 2 big thumbs up if you know where that's from. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen out there. Most people don't know where that saying comes from. Yeah, yeah, that was an old saying way back in the day. Well, you know, you got to crush them when they're young. That way they realize that they don't know everything. All right. How much Delta V do we have now? Oh yeah, we definitely got enough to make it to the Mun now. What's the opposite of no? So now we've got enough Delta V. It shows right here, 67.75, and we need a total of 51.21. That's for a one-way trip. What's our round trip look like? Yeah, recheck your craft, please. I think we can still do it. I think we can still do it. Especially if we burn the way I want to burn. What could possibly go wrong, right? Alright, we need some communication. We don't need 4 of them. And we'll stick this guy off to the side like so. And we need some electricity. Yeah. And we'll put 2 of these guys on because we can. And I don't think we'll need much battery power if we've got those solar panels. I know, it's so great, isn't it? Your rocket is so blue. Yeah, it's a little sad. It's a little sad rocket. But we can always change it. We could go in here. I think, how do we change the colors on these things? I saw someone talking about it. Launch assembly, like it's color manager. There we go. So we go in here. Color manager. Is it because this is up? Probably. Do I have to close this? There it is. It was hidden. Alright, we can go the whole assembly. The entire confection. And now we'll make it so it's not as blue. So now set new colors, base, accent. Okay. So now how do I apply it? Do I go set as agency color? Because I don't want to change my agency color. Point scary rockets have pointy tips. Yeah. I hope that didn't, Ah, that's fine. We'll go with that. Who cares? I should have gone, yeah. What could possibly go wrong? How do I get out of this? There we go. Engineer's report. Awesome. Alright. Do we have a Kerbal that we can fly this thing? Who's going to be our pilot? I don't think we want Bill. Because Bill's a scientist, isn't he? Let's do Valentine. Alright, let's go to launch pad 4. Come on, launch. There we go. Popcorn? Ooh. Look, I got warm snacks. Yes. I really wish I could reduce the size of this. Yes. Oh, did I check my staging? It never changed the colors of my rocket. Man. No, heal him. If you'd like to learn to fly in a safe simulator environment, be sure to check out. Yes. Alright, that's engaged. I think we're ready for takeoff. It's going to be all SRBs to start with. So, it's up and out. Here we go. I love the little Kerbal voices. Ooh. Start leaning this kid over here. look at those G-forces. They're really pushing on her. Ooh. Soupy. Soupy. It's because I'm locked in on that node, aren't I? Start to coast on up there. We're at 1500. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, no, like I said, my encoding is really rough right now. I've got things set up pretty high. So it definitely... I'm taxing my system right now. I should probably change the graphical settings of my game if I'm going to stream it. Alright, set for the target. Let's deploy our panel of the solar. I guess the handy dandy button for my solar panel cells isn't going to work. Now we got some power. Perfect. Still pointed down range. Need to watch my node so I don't miss it. 1400. I got 1700 available. See if the Z key still works. Yeah, well, you know, I mean that was very old technology for Skylab, but you know, it's not worth our time to build another space center. So. Well, you never know. I mean, Skylab was a very, very interesting piece of equipment, and it's just a shame that they didn't build off that, but what were they going to do, right? And then you had Mir and everything else on top of that. Of course, Mir was Russia, but still, it's the principle of the thing. Okay. We still got a little bit of fuel. How much fuel do we have left in this thing? What's our total delta V here? Where's my engineer report? Let's see if we can just make a quick little pass around the mun here. See if I still... Oh, I've got to delete that maneuver node. What is my inclination? Well, I'm intercepting it, so I guess it can't be too far off. Yeah, that's gonna take me pretty wide there. About 35, 40 degrees there. Point towards the maneuver node. Yeah, I get that we want to try and shoot back for the moon and for Mars and everything, but I think what we need is like a high orbit space station, but I guess we want to colonize the moon so that we can start harvesting its innards and build off there and have manufacturing and everything on the moon. Which isn't a terrible idea, but just not very cost effective. $804. I hope we got the fuel for this. We'll find out real quick. That's okay. We're just going to do a swing around it. It's not... We're not going to try and capture it. Three, two, one. Oh, I got 14. I got tons of Delta V left. Good enough. Overshot it just a smidge, but... Let's go to here. Oh, we totally missed it. What? Did I miss something? Did I click on the wrong spot? I think I clicked on the wrong thing. We're not gonna go back to Fallout New Vegas on that one. No, we're just not. That just ain't right. Alright, I guess I missed the maneuver with the moon. I don't know how or why, but I thought I had the right. What's that at? Okay, let's boost that down a little more. Right about there. I think that's going to give us some good aero braking. Let's give that a shot. Alright, 4 hours and 4 minutes. Go home, Rainbow, you're drunk. Yes, If I don't know how many of you noticed the last time when we were playing around, but if you spin the craft around enough, she gets sick. It's pretty funny. She almost throws up in her helmet. I really kind of enjoyed that. I thought it was hilarious. Wow, 4-second burn. Twelve, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. What'd that bring me down to? 93? That's pretty close. Let's nudge that up just a little bit, see if we can get that a little closer. Let's go about 50. There we go. There. Now we can have a good flight coming back in there. It's because I left map mode, isn't it? We want to point ourselves backwards. I do have to admit that's beautiful. They really did a fantastic job on that. Let's speed it up a little bit. Still a little bit of ways. Wow, it's been up here for 5 days already? Wow. Time to go home and have some steak. Why is my... Oh, because that's kilometers. That's why. It's still counting down in kilometers. We're still pretty high up. I'm gonna do an old trick my Meemaw taught me. We get down here and we start burning backwards. Bring that down really quick. This guy's floating around up here. We're gonna start hitting atmosphere here in a minute. And there we go. Right? No, I agree. There's so many of those kind of movies that they can. Oh, look, we're flying right over the Space Center. There's so many of those movies that they could apply to this. Let's burn that Apo down real quick. Love it. See if we can do maybe a little burn back and land a little closer here. We're not going to have the fuel. Bummer. So you can no longer change its course. Ah, that's a shame. Bye. Alright, check this out. We start spinning this around. Watch how sick she gets. Uh-oh, it's gonna fling her out of the capsule if we're not careful. Feel it. Watch her facial expression. And we're in atmosphere spinning around like this. Oh, there she goes. She's getting sick. Getting sick. I love it. I love it. Oh. Now she's happy again. That doesn't look like a very good heat shield. Come on, close up. We're coming in at a fairly decent speed. We slowed ourselves down pretty good. I don't even think I extended that, did I? Let's extend it and rip it off. I haven't seen any indication of heating yet, so I doubt that they have introduced any heating, but looks like she's about ready to pop out of there, though. Well, a Smurf is already blue, so it's kind of hard to tell when you're choking them. But yeah, I don't know if you saw up here in this window, she started. It was pretty funny. But yeah, they've got a clipping issue here to where she's gonna probably clip right through the V-holes. She's having fun falling though. Look at her. They're all excited. Okay, we're down to 9,000 feet here. I'll pop that chute at about 1,500. I'd probably dial my throttle back. Don't need that anymore. Oh, you can see waves. We're coming up on that ocean pretty quick here. Right? do like the little peaks they've got there on the water. That's a nice little detail. Still doesn't move natural though. But it's water in Unity, and that's never really worked very well. Almost there. We're coming down. Let's speed it up a bit. Why wait? Yeah, I think they need to blend their water together a little better. I like how we saw the splash before we hit the water. It should bob a little more on the water. Yeah, they've got some stuff to work on with their water physics. Yeah. Alright, so now if I remember right, we've got to go here. Recover vessel. Yes. Confirm. And then we don't want to revert to launch. You made that look easy. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I've got some hours in this thing. Yeah, close. We go back in here and we go to Space Center. Alright. Well, it's 10 o'clock, guys. I gotta go to bed. I got stuff to do tomorrow. Let's see if I've been talking about, you know, they said they've worked out a lot of the Kraken issues, but only time will tell. I don't think a lot of us have done a lot of time warp, but I haven't seen anything Kraken-wise time warp. We'll just see. I'm sure they'll do some kind of update that unleashes the Kraken, but so far it's been pretty solid. You know, I don't have too many hours in this yet because, you know, like if you had watched my stream yesterday, I just had a major hard drive failure and lost my other Linux partition and everything, and it's just been bad. But yeah, so here I am. Thanks everybody for joining. If I knew how to do raids, I'd do a raid on someone else, but I have no idea how to do raids because I'm not that well versed in it. But I appreciate everybody taking the time to join up, and if you've liked this, please go ahead and follow and subscribe and all those other neat things for me. And I try and do Kerbal as often as I can, but with how things have been, I might restart Kerbal and go through another science run with that. I'm thinking about it now that it'll probably be straight vanilla because I don't have any of the mods yet. But I do want to try it again with just vanilla and see how well it goes. Because it's been so long since I played just vanilla Kerbal. But yeah, please catch me. I try and stream Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, and some weekends. Depends on what happens on the weekend and what we have going on. But I appreciate everybody's time, and you all have a good night. Later.